Good afternoon, everybody. It's freezing cold, but that doesn't stop us, does it, Anita? Anita's on the other end of the camera. You can't see her, but she's with me anyway, filming me. This afternoon, we're going to just do a quick activity on upcycling. Now, what we mean by that, it's a posh term for basically reusing your old containers. Anything you've got lying about the house, it might have lost a lid. It might be a little bit cracked. You might actually think, I'm sick of this little container for my sugar or my tea or my coffee. I want to replace the whole set. Well, reuse those containers. I want to show you an example. I actually don't even know what this is. My mum bought this from a charity shop last year before lockdown. Funnily enough, it has actually got little holes in the bottom, so it'll be quite good for planting. But with this sort of thing, it's a bit of fun. It doesn't matter really if it hasn't got drainage holes, because the plants are not going to stay in here for months and months. This is just something to cheer us up while we're all stuck inside. So this is our container that we're going to use today. I also wanted to show you, if you absolutely have nothing, you could think about some of our plastic plant pots. Now, I'm sure you've all got a couple of these hanging around. These ones are quite nice because they're that sort of light beige. They're supposed to be recyclable. I've tried this and it's still quite hard to recycle plant pots. So if you can reuse them, all the better. And what you can do with this is you could decorate it. I've seen these painted with nice big spots on them. If you wanted to use it for an inside little container, what you could do is make a little sleeve out of paper and decorate that. But this is ideal. You could put stickers on there. You could cheer this up quite a bit, just as a little pot with something in for this time of year. Now, I want to show you what we're going to put in our pot today. We've got a very little cheery little plant, a little polyanther, beautiful, also called a primrose. Look at the little colours on that. Now, I bought this from the local garden centre because as we're working in horticulture, that's a necessary place for us to go. You might feel at the moment, I don't want to go to a garden centre because it's not a necessary journey for me. Now, I found that you can get little pot plants, little pots of bulbs, an alternative could be herbs at a supermarket. So you could, as part of your weekly essential shop, pick up a couple of little plants and use them instead if you don't want to go to a garden centre. But I did, and I've bought this, and I've also bought some little narcissi. They're called minnow. These are desperate to be out of their little pot. Look at their little roots here. They're all wound round and round and round. I actually got them out the pot before we started this film because otherwise the whole film would have been taken up with me trying to get it out of the pot. It's that pot down now. So we're going to use these two little plants today. But as I said, feel free, experiment. Use these little planters for inside or for out. Right, simple. We've got some compost. Now again, we had compost. We haven't actually had to buy this. We've already got this compost along with our supplies. If you haven't got compost and you're stuck in at home, but you've got access to go outside, maybe in your garden or just for a little walk, just some soil would be fine. You could sieve it a little bit just to get rid of any little bits, but that would be fine if you can't get hold of compost. But as we have got some, we're going to go mad and use compost. So I'm just filling up our pot, not to the top, because then I want to organise the plants. Anita, can you see in there? I might put a little bit more in. Yeah. I'm not firming it down. There we go. We can do a little experiment actually, because we can see where does he go. Yeah, to be honest, that's probably enough. So we're going to put him in there. And these, rather than keeping them all together, because as we said, they're really pot bound, we're actually going to separate them. There we go. So we've actually going to get quite a few nice little flowers out of this. We've probably got enough to do 2 pots really, but I'm going to put one in round the side there. And I'm going to put a smaller one around the side there. Firm it down a little bit. You could, if you wanted to be very neat, you could trim the roots a little bit if you wanted to. But obviously it does need roots, so I wouldn't trim them all. And then just fill it up with a little bit of compost. I mean, it might be easier just to use your hand, just to put it in. There we go. Now, we always think, oh, well, we should water things as soon as we've got them. Actually, I probably wouldn't water this straight away because our compost is really moist, it's been outside. These are outside plants, so they've been outside. So actually, if I take my glove off and have a feel, that's really moist. I don't want it to get waterlogged, so I'm going to leave it. And this little planter, it could go outside if I wanted to. Equally, I could have it inside. This is the good thing. At this time of year, we might have our central heating on, but if we've got a little cool area, sometimes kitchens or bathroom windowsills where we haven't got as much heating going on, we could pop that in there. And because we've got the holes underneath, we could just stand it on a little saucer and it will be fine. It's quite nice actually to have some spring bulbs inside. It sort of brings the outside in. So, we've got one little planter. So feel free, use what you've got at hand. If it's small, it doesn't matter. If it's big, it doesn't matter. It's a bit of fun. Use an old Wellington if you want. I've seen that work as well. But have a go at upcycling.
Over at the community garden in Coventry, Esther loves to turn unusual things into planters to save them from landfill. Here we've got hot water tanks, kettles, an old toolbox and even a toy pram. All of these have had holes drilled into the bottom for drainage. You can use pretty much anything for planting, and the quirkier the better. We'd love to see examples of unusual and funny items that you're growing things in, so do send us some pictures and videos.